afternoon, and thank you all for joining us for an update on our innovative work to make our city streets even safer. Joining me today are Lincoln Transportation Utilities Director Liz Elliott and Lincoln Transportation Utilities Transportation Planner Roberto Partida. And as mayor, I am fully committed to delivering a safe, reliable, and convenient transportation system for you and your families. And our city's transportation team works every day to make our streets even safer for you by utilizing best practices in traffic engineering, leading robust public engagement, and deploying my administration's historic levels of investment in our streets. And these efforts contribute to impressive results. Our latest data show that Lincoln's per capita traffic fatality rate is 1/3 that of the state of Nebraska. At the same time, we recognize that there are opportunities to make our transportation network even safer for you and your families. Last fall, I announced a Safe Streets Lincoln, a Vision Zero project, our bold initiative to eliminate traffic-related deaths and serious injuries in our community. And today, I am pleased to report that the City of Lincoln will advance our work on Vision Zero through a new grant from the United States Department of Transportation. The $400,000 award from the federal Safe Streets for All grant program will help promote the goals of the department's National Roadway Safety Strategy and Vision Zero program locally. And we thank our federal partners for this investment from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, and I want to thank our city team and all those involved in helping to secure the grant. The City of Lincoln has a strong track record of making safety-related enhancements that benefit our drivers, cyclists, pedestrians, and transit users. This grant will enable the city to build on that track record by supporting the creation of a comprehensive, community-driven traffic safety action plan. Developing this action plan will pave the road to an even safer city as we work to identify and prioritize improvements before crashes and injuries happen. And I'd now like to invite up LTU Director Liz Elliott to share more details about the resources that we have been awarded and how they will help advance public safety in Lincoln. Liz?
Thank you, Mayor. Whether you're walking to school, riding your bike to the park, hopping on the bus to go to a doctor's appointment, or driving home from work, Lincoln's transportation infrastructure is key to getting you there safely. This grant funding will help enhance the solid work our team is already doing to keep you safe. Safe Streets Lincoln and the National Vision Zero program approach traffic safety as a public health issue. Vision Zero acknowledges that many factors contribute to safe mobility, including street design, speeds, behaviors, technology, and policies, and it sets clear goals to achieve the shared goal of zero fatalities and severe injuries. This proactive approach behind Safe Streets Lincoln has already increased safety at several intersections across Lincoln. In the Near South neighborhood, one successful enhancement included installation of rectangular rapid flashing beacon crosswalk lights on 13th, 16th, and 17th streets. These improvements help alert motorists to pedestrian traffic. According to the United States Department of Transportation, these flashing beacons help slow vehicles and can reduce pedestrian crashes up to 47%. There are 13 flashing beacon crosswalks across the city, and LTU plans to install 2 more in the next several months. And in North Lincoln, our traffic engineering division increased safety along North 14th Street outside of Belmont Elementary School. Our team installed pavement markings and permanent concrete medians as part of our North 14th improvement project. These additions have helped separate vehicle traffic from pedestrian traffic and prevent motorists from conducting U-turns in the crosswalk. This project increased safety for all road users and continues to prevent future injuries in front of the school. These projects are just 2 of dozens that have contributed to a safer Lincoln. Not only does our team stand behind the safety improvements we've already completed, we are continuing to work toward our local goal to eliminate all traffic fatalities and reduce serious injuries by 60% by 2045. This effort will offer benefits to all street users, whether you are walking, biking, driving, or using our StarTran transit services. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And excellent traffic engineering is a key element of our commitment to ensure a safe transportation network for you and your families. And here to talk more about the traffic engineering component of Safe Streets Lincoln is LTU Transportation Planner Roberto Partida. Roberto?
Thank you, Mayor. Safe Streets Lincoln is a locally driven, forward-thinking initiative that will help design a road system that elevates our community's quality of life. Throughout 2023, LTU will work with a variety of city departments and community-oriented stakeholders to develop our action plan. Departments and organizations like Lincoln Police Department, City Planning, Urban Development, Lincoln Public Schools will offer input along with mobility providers, advocacy groups for people with disabilities, businesses, neighborhood associations, and our residents. Through the action plan, the team will identify initiatives, review city policies and processes, and generate a list of priority projects for improvement. This strategic vision will incorporate public input and create evaluation metrics that will assess the action plan once it's created. Development of the action plan will begin this spring. Research, analysis, and public outreach will wrap up in the summer of 2024. Implementation of our priority projects will follow. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Roberto. And thank you to the entire traffic engineering team at LTU, many of whom are in the room. They help us all move through the city safely and efficiently, whether we are driving, biking, walking, riding the bus, or even scooting. Today's announcement is yet another demonstration of the value my administration places on high-quality transportation infrastructure to keep you and your families safe. With that, we would be happy to open it up for questions about this exciting announcement.
So I guess what is this grant actually going to be used for, the funding? Is it used to develop the strategic plan, and how will that money be used to do that?
It will help us develop that action plan, and we're one of a number of communities across the country that have been awarded grants to do just that as part of the Vision Zero concept. But I would let one of the folks from LTU step up and share more about the details of the plan.
Sure. Yeah, so that $400,000 amount is specifically for all planning-related efforts to create the action plan. And one of the biggest components of it is public engagement and community collaboration, which is key when discussing safe streets and our transportation system.
Yeah, we certainly have a lot of data that we'll look at, but we also want to hear from our residents about where they think we need safety improvements. This is really going to be a co-creation of safer streets going forward. Yes?
So just clarification, that money is not being used to create the things that the plan will showcase. It's strictly just for the plan and planning itself.
Yes, this grant that we applied for was just for the planning portion of it. So what it involve will be working with consultants and the city traffic engineering team to do some studies across town, do the public engagement, and ultimately put the final report together. That final report will then outline specific steps that we can take. The overall, having a plan, a Vision Zero Safe Streets plan, is required for many of the other grants from the federal agencies. Before we can apply for them, we need to have the master plan laying out our plans and the efforts that we've already taken. So this will help us get future funding as well.
In the meantime, of course, we have a 6-year capital improvement plan with hundreds of projects that help us build new roads and repair our existing roads. We will continue that work, just as our Director Elliott highlighted some of the work that we've done to improve safety. So that work is ongoing, but in the meantime, we'll be taking a strategic look at how to involve the public in refining and making that approach even more robust. So as she said, we can leverage our action plan to pull down even more federal resources for this effort. Yeah.
the flashing crosswalks, and then also the painting and the concrete barriers in the Belmont neighborhood. I guess, what are other things you guys are looking at? I guess, yeah, looking at to create safer roads.
Sure. So there are a multitude of different things that we're doing, and one of the things that I'm super proud of is our Safe Routes to School initiative. And with that, we do a lot of school zone evaluations, and we have school zone speed restrictions during arrival and dismissal time. We do safety education events with the kiddos, and that's actually something that we're wanting to incorporate at a general public standpoint to really drive education around traffic safety. And those are just some of the many things that we're doing to continue to provide a safe transportation system for all.
I think some of the discussions that we've had internally include, where we do have data that indicates maybe higher incidence of traffic collisions, that we would look at the conditions of that intersection and then try to evaluate whether there are other similar intersections in the city that we could address with improvements before we start to see any potential uptick in collisions at similar intersections. So it is really proactive. Yes.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys say you guys want to have by 2045 60% reduction in fatalities in Lincoln, and then by 2050 or so 0 fatalities in Lincoln. How feasible do you think that really is to reduce the amount of fatalities in Lincoln in that amount of time?
It's definitely a high goal. It's going to take a lot of effort, not only from LTU traffic team, but also, as Roberto was saying, educating and getting our community members on board, because part of it is also just our human behavior and how we react. So we think it's a goal that we can accomplish, but it's not going to be without effort and a lot of help and collaboration across the city, both city departments and the community itself.
We see real value in setting aspirational goals because they help hold us accountable to high standards, and we know the public expects that from us, and we want to deliver on those high standards.
The transportation officials are here, but I think another piece, and probably as important, it's not here, is the police department. How integral is the police department in creating this and going forward with this plan to have these safe streets and 0 fatalities? And what do you think their role should be, I guess?
They're absolutely essential. We work in concert with other departments all the time, and they certainly have a lot of great data and a lot of knowledge of how things are working in practice on the street, so they will be significant partners in this effort.
No, and I think they will be a tremendous asset when it comes to educating the public and just getting that information out there. And as Roberto was going through the list, LPD is on that and will be involved every step of the way to brainstorm with them. What have they seen across the nation? What are some additional law enforcement efforts that they've seen that have been helpful and useful across? So they'll be partners along the way, every step, and education, I think, for both of our departments is priority in this plan.
They certainly get a lot of requests for traffic calming measures, so we'll be relying on some of their insight too into that public need. Other questions? Okay. Well, thank you again for joining us this afternoon to learn more about the work we are doing to make our streets and our community even safer for you and your families. We'll see you soon.